this computer. And then I think at the end, she'll ask if you guys have any questions or anything like that. So get your pen and paper out and listen to her, because it's going to be awesome information. Thank you, Ashley, so much. I'm super excited to hear from you, and take it away, girlfriend.
Alrighty. Okay, so first of all, I know some of you are like brand new. Some things that I might say may sound like jargon. So if you have questions, write them down. We can either go over them in the end, or we can have like a separate call, whether you're my coach or Jamie's coach, whatever. So I know not all of you have gone through all of the trainings yet. So I'm just gonna kind of speak to the broad spectrum of people and take notes, and then we'll go over everything in the end, or I'll ask questions. If you have something that you desperately need to ask right away, put your hand up. I can see all of you, and we'll go from there. So first of all, well, what I'm going to cover today is I'm really going to go over like your ideal customer, the vital behaviors, and I'm also going to go over like how I've been really successful on my social media. And so obviously I'm going to start with the vitals because that's the most important. And I'm going to say this: if you are not doing your vital behaviors, I don't want you to do, obviously on this call, do what I'm asking you to do, but you need to focus on getting your vitals done every single day. And to remind you, in my opinion, number one most important vital behavior is being a product of the product. I have been a coach for about 1.5 years now, and honestly, I should be way more successful than I am. I've been through lots of hills and valleys. I've gone through like quite a few stints of depression since I've been a coach, but the thing is that I've never given up. I've had moments where I need to say, you know what, I need to take a time out. I need to really, really, really focus on myself and maybe not this coaching thing. But that's what's gotten me to where I am today. I can tell you now, I've never made it this far in a program. I have never finished a single round of 21-day fix, even core to force. And I've never also been as successful as I am now. There have been months that I've hit more success club points, but in my opinion, that's not what tells me I'm successful. What tells me I'm successful is how I'm feeling, how many people are engaging with me, how many people are asking questions, how many people are messaging me, telling me how inspired I make them. That's how I measure my success. And, I was doing bits and pieces here, but honestly, I was taking care of myself and doing the vitals about 50-50. And now that I'm following a program, I'm seeing results. And you don't need to have results right away to start your business. You can do it as you go, but you actually have to be doing it. You can't be putting it on pause and saying, oh yeah, I will lose weight and I will share my results later. You need to at least be having non-scale victories. You need to be seeing things like, oh, last week I didn't meal prep, but this week I did, and I've been so much more successful. You need to be having new successes every single week, whether it's small or big. Doesn't need to be physical. And so that's really kind of what I want to talk about, like being a proof of the product is, I've had so much engagement on my social media. It doesn't matter what I'm posting because they're seeing my results and they're seeing how happy I am. I've gotten so many compliments in person saying that I look better. I have more, color in my face. Like people notice these things. And people also notice when you're being genuine. When I was, I would never say that I lied on my social media, but people could tell when I wasn't following a program to the T, because I would go out with my friends and I would get fucking hammered and eat 3 cheeseburgers and a bunch of French fries, and all my friends saw, and I felt guilty about it, and I wasn't as authentic in my social media because I was embarrassed by that. And if you are truly doing what you're supposed to be doing, there's not going to be anything to be ashamed of. As a coach, we have a really hard time, we always technically have to be on. We always have to be following a program. We always have to be eating right. It's tough. Especially with 80-day obsession, it's a really, really tough program. If we were asked, to 365 days out of the year follow the 80-day obsession program, most people wouldn't be successful. I think it's super important as coaches, at the very, very, very least, that we follow a 90-10 rule. We do need to enjoy ourselves and have balance, but 10% of the time, not 60% of the time, not 50% of the time. We need to be doing what we're supposed to be doing. And so I'm going to wrap it up there. Does anybody have any questions about that at all? No, we're good. Okay. I'm going to stop my dog real quick. Be right back.
something that I want to make super important is that we as coaches aren't sitting there meant to be 100% super strict. And I think that a lot of people get this idea of like, I really want to help people, but I just don't want to eat freaking vegetables and whatever all the time. Like, I don't want to be like living that kind of boring life. And what I want everyone to know is like, I love me some tequila and I love me some mimosas and some wine. And I heard a song today that said, put wine in my coffee and like, I'm good to go. But the thing is like, we have to teach people that there's times to be disciplined and committed and show people that even though sometimes those times are hard, we have to show people that it can be done. And then after your 80 days, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to get freaking knees deep in some french fries and drink a whole bottle of wine to myself. Not because I'm self-sabotaging myself, but because I've earned it. And then after that, I'm going to get back on track. And like, that doesn't mean that I'm going to follow 80-day obsession again to a T, because remember, I've already done it once with the test group and I'm doing it again right now. And then after that, I'm going to work in some treats here and there, because then we teach people that you can still do these things, get results, and do it with moderation of treats, because it's not about a diet. It's a lifestyle change with, without feeling, gosh, what am I trying to say? I can hear my daughter trying to come in. Kyle, go lay down. Okay, you can let the dog in, then go lay down. We don't want people to feel like that they have to be completely deprived. That is not at all what this business is about, what these programs are about. But there are times where we need to be dedicated and prove to ourselves that we can stick to something 100%. Okay. Now back to Ashley.
You're good. Thank you for that. I think my cat's outside and my dogs are being really naughty and barking, so I'm glad you were able to talk. Anyways, okay. Yes, being improved with our product, and I agree 100% with Jamie. Anyways, okay. Another vital. If you are not inviting people every single day, you will never, ever, 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 ever be successful in this business. Everything that is scary and everything that you don't want to do is exactly what you need to be doing. And gosh, I don't know. Jeannie, what day was I talking to you? I sent like 25 invites. I don't know. I sent so many. Like anybody that likes a post that I'm somewhat talking about joining my group, I just send them a message and say, hey, thank you so much for your support. I saw that you liked my post. I was wondering if you wanted to chat about what I'm doing and seeing if it would be a good fit for you. Keep it super simple. Nothing crazy, but you need to be inviting. And if you need help with that, if you need help, getting that push, talk to me or Jamie. You need to be doing it every single day. That is, to me, when you're trying to grow your business on social media, that is the number one thing. Not what you're posting, not how cute you look in your pictures. You need to be inviting every single day. You also need to be drinking your shakes every day, which is things for the product. For a while, I thought I didn't need my shakes every day. And I feel so much better when I drink them. And if you aren't drinking them every day, how do you expect anybody else to be able to do that? So I left that out in the very beginning. So I wanted to add that in again. And then also, you need to be doing personal development every day. The days that you aren't doing personal development is probably the day that you need to be doing it the most. If you need suggestions on what you should be listening to, whether it be Audible, podcasts, if you like to read, let us know. Right now, I'm listening to Get Over Your Damn Self, and it really has just given me a kick in the ass that I needed. And I wouldn't be as successful this month if I wasn't doing personal development. This is something that I picked up before I even was a coach, because I was just super depressed and I needed guidance. And I don't know, I honestly don't know where I would be without it. I also, like I said, I'd gone through quite a few stints of depression throughout, my coaching career. And I decided I needed to go see a counselor because I wasn't following through with anything that I was doing. It wasn't just coaching. I was seeing it trying to fit every aspect of my life. I wasn't following through with anything that I wanted to do. And I wasn't feeling good about myself, and I needed that extra step. And if you need that too, there's lots of free resources. And I'm sure, if you have health insurance, I'm sure it's covered as well. But you need to be doing things like that. Not necessarily every week. I go about every other week. I don't feel like I even really need it that much now, but it's really nice to check in. And I have, ADHD and I have OCD really bad. I was diagnosed as a young child, so my brain works a lot differently than most people's. And I go through the comparison syndrome of thinking like, oh my gosh, like it's so easy for this person to do that. Like I compare myself to Ashley, which, I only see her on social media, but I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so successful. She always shows up. Why can't I do that? Why can't I be this? Why can't I be that? And like, why can't I, sit here and focus and do this like she can? And it's because I'm not her and she's not me, and we don't have the same brain, and we have other obstacles that we're working against. And I know Ashley has her own struggles, but she's doing something about them. And that's what I realized that I needed to do. I need to do something about my, the issues with me. And I've been consistent in my business ever since, and with everything else in life. And I've learned to prioritize things, and it's just really, really helped me. So if personal development isn't enough for you, take it a step further. And then also, recognition is another vital behavior. And I know a lot of us don't have like big giant teams that we can recognize our personal coaches and things like that, but we all have people in our life. We all have people in our newsfeed. We all have people that we can go on and compliment. We have like, I mean, every day I see someone, even if they're not in Beachbody, that has posted a workout picture or something really cool that they want to share. Take it a step further. Don't just comment on their picture. Shoot them a message and say, hey, girl, I've been following you and you are seriously kicking ass. Anything like that where you're recognizing someone for doing something well. It doesn't have to even be fitness related. Like just notice that they've really taken time to take care of themselves, or you think that they're a really good mom. Like recognize people for things that they're doing well. And I think that's super duper important. I think people take that one like way too seriously, thinking they need to make this big deal about it, but just recognize people in your life. I've gone over the vital behaviors, and like I said, those are the first things you should be focusing on, the very, very first things before building your brand, anything, you need to be doing those. But I really wanted to talk to you guys about some things that I've seen, people on our own team are doing on social media, and people, in other, social network, MLMs, things that people are doing that I think people are doing well, and things that people are doing wrong. And the first, I want to walk you guys through a little bit of an exercise. The biggest thing that I've noticed is a lot of people are trying to please everyone, trying to attract every single person on their Facebook. And that's just going to kill you because you can't please everyone. I'm going to give you an example. My grandma has this friend that lives on her street. She's like, I don't know, in her mid-40s, early 50s or something. I don't really like her. I'm friends with her on Facebook like as a courtesy, and I don't want to like cause neighborhood drama for my grandma. But gosh, was it Thursday or Friday? I posted a selfie of me in a cardigan in the bathroom. And I made a joke about like how I wear it naked, whatever. And I was in the bathroom at a dental office, and she posted on it, just say no to bathroom selfies. And I was just like, at first I was a little bit offended. I was like, that's rude. Who would say that? Then I was like, either way, she's not my people, and she's not someone I'd want to attract in my life, let alone my business. And I posted on there, and I was like, meh, I'm not opposed to them. Even when I'm on the toilet, I really don't care. And I was going to just like, screw you. Like, why do you need to be a bitch? And that's a perfect example because she's not in my market. Jamie, you wanted to send her the middle finger emoji, right? Wasn't that such bullshit? Anyways, I was just super proud of myself that I was just like, I literally was offended for like 2 seconds, and I was like, screw her, whatever. And there's going to be so many people like that on your social media, and you need to be able to recognize when it's time to care and when it's time not to, and usually you just shouldn't care about it. And so I'm going to walk you guys through an exercise to help you find like your brand, your ideal person. The first thing, I stole some of these from my girl Shalene Johnson, some from the internet, whatever. But the first thing that I want you guys to think of and write down is who were you when you first got into this business? Who were you when you first reached out to Jamie or myself? What were you looking for? What didn't you know then that you wish you knew now? I'm going to give you guys a second to do that. I'll talk about a little bit about myself. Me, I was an ex-collegiate athlete. I was out of shape. I didn't know how to get back into shape because I'd always been on a team, and I always had competition in my, you know, daily exercises, whether they were daily doubles or whatever. I had guidance on how to be in shape. I never had to worry about it on my own. And I had just been lost for a really long time, and I saw a bunch of Jamie's posts, and I was just like, screw it. Send me whatever I need now. I'm ordering it because I need something different. Does anybody want to share what they wrote down? Jamie!
I also want to add that this girl right here told me no.
Mm-hmm.
She was one of those annoying clients that would always say, okay, I really want to do what you're doing, and so can you give me all the information? And then she would not do anything and like just kind of avoid my messages, not being mean. And then she'd come back, and then we would talk a little bit more. And then finally, I believe it was like July or August. I can't remember which year, like not this lot, whatever. And she messaged me and she's like, okay, I am done making excuses. I'm for sure going to do this. Send me the link right now. That's all I need. And I was like, sweet. And that's what I also want you guys to know is I didn't really know Ashley. We went to school together, but I actually had no idea who she was. I mean, when I saw her face, I remembered. It actually wasn't until like we started really talking that things started clicking, and then our families were intertwined. It was super weird. But anyways, I wanted to point you guys that out because people are going to be watching you, and people are going to be asking you the same information over and over, and it's super easy to get annoyed. But I knew that she would be such a great person on my team. So I was so patient, and I was just waiting until she felt like she was ready. But when I first started, I couldn't hold a job. I was a new mom to twins. I got pregnant at 19, had them at 20. I was married at 19. Like you guys, I was living off of state assistance. I came out of a family with drugs, alcohol, abuse, all the works, right? And so I was full of anxiety, couldn't keep a job, was at home, living off state assistance, babysitting on the side. And I felt like I just didn't know what I was doing with my life. Didn't know how to be healthy. All I knew is I was so depressed, and antidepressants actually put me in the hospital because it caused me to be suicidal every time I got put on antidepressants. And so working out became a therapy for me, and it saved my life. So when I first started coaching, I was like a freaking leaf on a tree, shaken to death. Like I had no idea what I was doing. And what I didn't know then that I knew now is that I was thinking that I needed to be this perfect person with these awesome results that had my shit together and had to like put all these like salesy kinds of posts up and these ugly collages and all of those things. And I'm like, oh gosh, no, you don't need all that. You literally just take it one day at a time. And that's what I know now. So you take it one day at a time and be coachable. You don't have to know everything right away, but when you're given some steps to learn, take it in and use it, because it doesn't matter how scared you are of life, you can absolutely do it. So that was who I was when I first started this journey. I had zero idea what I was doing. I didn't want to post pictures of myself, videos of myself, and even pictures of my and now it's no big thing. So who else has something that they're willing to share? Anyone at all?
Come on, one person.
Okay, Ashley.
Can you hear me? Okay. A little bit nervous, but when I joined, I was first and foremost, which was at the top of my list, a NICU mom. And my son was fighting for his life every single day. And so I didn't know it, but I was depressed and had and still have a ton of anxiety about leaving him, anxiety about pretty much everything. I just buried it deep down. And a lot of this personal development has helped me realize that. But I was looking for help. I mean, I was a quitter. I've done a few of the programs half-assed. I mean, I I committed to doing shift shop for a while, and then my son hit a bump in the road, and I just quit. I was like, I can't do this. And my mom got breast cancer, and I was like, I can't do this. And it was just one thing after another last year. And so I stopped because I thought I had to be perfect, and I wasn't doing personal development then. So, I was just like overwhelmed by emotions. And when I got worried, I started eating whatever, whenever. And by the end of the year, I had put on an extra like 10 pounds just from stress eating. And so then I started this year, and I was super excited, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I need to be a little bit selfish. I need to take some time. Our son's home. He's doing better. And, I just wish that I would have seen that I had what it took then, and that it's not completely selfish. It's just taking time to invest in yourself, to be healthy and to show up just for you. I mean, I wish that I would have realized that then, without thinking me taking an extra hour before going to the NICU was, the worst thing, because I thought I was ignoring my son when I should be spending that time with him instead of here in Salem. So that was kind of my struggle. And, I wish that I was just in my own way. And I wish that I would have gotten out of the way back then, instead of only just now, showing up and starting to care for myself.
Thank you so much for sharing. I literally am like on the verge of tears right now. That was so sweet. I don't know, like what you're going through is super hard, and I don't want you to discount that at all. But you know what the beauty of that is? You have so many people that you can help because of that. So many people. Like I have some people even on my friends list alone that are NICU moms, and I think I've seen them on yours because their babies were in the NICUs at the same time. And so many people that have a parent that has cancer, like these things are not easy. And those are the things that shape us. And you need to use that. People aren't going to pity you. People are going to think that you're fucking strong, because that's exactly how I feel. So thank you. I know that was really nerve-wracking, but like you almost brought me to tears. I'm trying really hard to hold them back.
I'm sorry, that was not my goal.
They're happy tears. Like I'm so happy that you found this, and like this is exactly why I do what I do. You know what I mean? This is why I do this. And I have so many moments. I'm crying. So many moments in this business that I feel this way, and this is why I do this. And that's why you signed up. This is what you're gonna do. And anyways, okay, before I just have a total cry fest and ugly cry in front of all of you, I'm gonna move on with our next thing to write down. So I'm gonna give you a hint. A lot of these traits are gonna be you, and these are ideal. You're gonna attract other people, but this is like your ideal market that you're gonna want to attract. So first I want you to write down the age range of people that you think are going to be in your market. When you're talking to someone, what the age range of someone you would be speaking to is. Mine is people around the age of 23 to 30-ish. I'm not necessarily a new mom, but I really like new moms, and I feel like I can relate with them in the fact that I was in softball and never had to worry about being in shape, and then they have weight to lose. People just getting out of college that are just, finding a new way to deal with their life and their, schedules and things like that. So that's why, 23 to 30 is about my range. Casey, what's your age range that you're in your target market?
Definitely 19 to 23. Those are my age range. And new moms, people that went through obesity in high school and, middle school, not obesity, but overweight, stuff like that. Cause I've had a lot of people relate to me with that. And a lot of people don't realize that it's not their fault. It's mainly just what they grew up around. I've realized that I've gotten a lot of people relate to me through that. Yeah.
100% my problem. I grew up on mac and cheese and tuna casserole.
And fast food every weeknight.
Yep. Okay. All right. I'm going to throw a few of you guys, a few at a time, because they all kind of come together. What personality type do these people have? Are they very driven people? Are they insecure people? What struggles do they have? Are they overweight? Are they struggling to find purpose? Do they have a hard time eating well, or, finding the right things to eat, getting enough food in the day? What are some of their hobbies do they have? Do they like to play sports? Do they like to go golf? Do they like dogs? I like dogs. Anything like that. And then what are they passionate about? Hint, hint, it's probably what you're passionate about. And so what I want you guys to do when you are posting to your social media, when you are talking on your Snapchat, I want you to think about these things and who you're talking to. Another tip is, I guess I'm kind of going to transition. So I want you guys to use these notes later, like when you're, when you're making posts, when you're doing things, like save these, put these next to your computer, on your desk, wherever they need to be, so that you can constantly remind yourself like what your target market is. If you guys want to go a little bit more deeper into it, we don't have a ton of time on this call because I want to get through everything, but I can send you some podcasts or trainings that they go really, really deep into building your ideal avatar or customer. But I just wanted to kind of start this out when I'm feeding into talking to you guys about how I run my social media. So one thing that's been super duper helpful for me, because technically two things, are Snapchat and Instagram stories. What's super awesome about them is that you really get to look into that person's life that you're watching. And it's the best way to sell yourself because you're really just being yourself. I get lots of comments about how raw and authentic I am on my Snapchat and my Instagram, and people love the shit out of that. And one thing that I've really noticed, and I have a hard time with this too, so like some of these tips that I'm giving you, like I'm not perfect at. I'm just throwing my dog's treats so they stop barking. Letting them know that they're being good. But one thing that I have a hard time with is when I post things, when I talk to people on my Snapchat, I say, you guys. People want to feel like you're talking to them directly. Like, I'm having a conversation with Jamie, and one thing I told her is I know that she never judges me, and I just love her in general, and she's like one of my, she's my avatar, is that I pretend like I'm talking to her. I pretend like I'm talking to one person when I'm on my Snapchat. And what's even more important is to look into that camera hole. Do not look at yourself on the screen because people can tell you're distracted and that you're looking at yourself. Look in the camera hole, because when you look in the camera hole, you'll be looking right at them, just like I'm looking right at you now. How creepy is this? Just kidding. Anyways, but look right in the camera hole because it will seem so much more authentic. And also, one thing that I see a lot, and sometimes I even have a hard time with this, is people don't talk on their Snapchat like they do in real life. They draw their words out like, today I went to the gym and it was so awesome. Like, would you have a conversation with me like that? No. And it's really easy to do because we're insecure. It's really, really, really tough to talk to people on social media. But the trick is when you pretend like you're talking to one person, they're going to talk just like you would normally talk. So picture Jamie, picture your husband, picture someone, on the other side of that phone that you're talking to. And I promise you won't sound stupid and you'll get really, really good at it. And then let's see, sorry, I have so many notes because I have so much stuff that I want to go over with you guys and I don't want to forget anything. Okay, so look into your camera lens. Also make sure that you have good lighting. Obviously, like I like to take snaps of me walking through my house. So there's going to be, times where it's not going to be normal, but I think it's really important to be informal, but at the same time being a little bit formal. So like right now, if I were doing a Facebook Live, I'd be sitting right here with my light that I have set up with my good lighting so that I track people, whatever. On Snapchat, it's not as important, but if every snap that you do, you have really bad lighting. Okay, and I'm going to call Ashley out right now. It's not important because we're on a team call, but if you had lighting like Ashley in every video that you did, I wouldn't be very intrigued to watch your videos, which you're not doing one on social media right now, so you're fine. It's just a call. You're totally welcome to have whatever lighting you want on a call. But, just as an example, I'd be much more intrigued to watch my video, Jamie's video, even Jenny's right now. She's in decent lighting, if you have good lighting. So, and I think Jamie has the same one. We bought our little lights on Amazon. They either hook into your computer or into like a USB port. Yes, that one. It's super awesome. And I got it for like $20 and it's been really nice. I do it when I use it when I post my workout videos, things like that. And it just makes things look a lot more crisp. I really like it. Okay. So, I'm going to kind of move away from stories. I'm going to talk more formally about like in general, social media. One thing that I see that people do a lot is name drop their company and their products way too often. Like for instance, I'll use lip sense. If someone is just saying like, hey, I love my new lip sense. This is so awesome. Look what color this is. This is Lexi Berry, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go onto Amazon and I'm going to order Lexi Berry right there rather than ordering it from that person. So it's really important that we're giving enough information for someone to want to ask questions, but not to answer their questions in our posts. We want them to either message us or comment on our posts, because guess what engagement does? It makes you pop on their feed much more, and other people's feeds. With that being said, like I have noticed, so like say I'm making a post, like I'll use this for an example. So I got my new mascara. I'm hosting a party on Instagram, on Facebook right now, and I don't want people just to go on and buy the stuff. I want them to come to my party and order through my party so that I get free stuff. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I love my new mascara. But I'm not talking about what mascara it is at all. And when people ask in my comments, they're like, hey, what mascara is this? 9 times out of 10, I'm saying, oh, hey, I'm going to message you. And then I message them and I tell them about my party. You want to take that same thing into your business. You know, like you can even just drop something as simple as, oh my gosh, that workout was so hard. It was so awesome. And people will say, hey, what workout are you doing? And you can say, oh yeah, I'll shoot you a message. And then you turn around and message them. Don't answer them in the comments, because people will still see that. Message them, start a conversation, and start building a relationship with them. And that makes it really easy for you to invite someone without making it a cold invite. And what's also really important when you are inviting people, get to know them first. Don't just say, hey, oh my gosh, sorry. I'm going to throw in a treat. So stop barking. I'm being the worst dog mom ever right now, but this is important. I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. But it's really important to build relationships. You notice how, like, when I said that I send an invite out when people like my posts, how I'm pretty vague. Like, I'm not like, hey, join my group. I'm saying, like, hey, let's help. Do you want to chat and see if this would be a good fit for you? And then we actually do chat. I ask them what goals they have. I ask them what hobbies they're into. Like, we really get to know each other. Like, you know, one person right now that's buying a house, and we're probably talking more about them buying a house than them actually joining my challenge group. It's really important for people to feel like you like them, because you do, and that you build a relationship with them so that they trust you. Because if they trust you, they're going to order from you and they're going to believe in the products. So there's that. Another thing that's really helped me is when I ask questions in my posts. So I don't have a really good example right now, but say, I post a sweaty selfie and then I say, what are you doing to better yourself today? People are going to answer that in the comments. And you know what you're going to do? Anytime, any single post, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're posting a picture of your dog, respond to every single fucking comment. Every single one. Even if it's just emoji. Because you'll see a lot of my posts, 50 of those posts may only be, one person, but I have conversations under every single post. And one thing that I really try and do is if someone comments on my post, I try and ask them a question if I can. And I start a conversation thread in every single post. And like Jamie's noticed, she's like, what the hell are you doing? Like, your posts are always on my feed. Like, get away from me. Like, she's like, they're always constantly popping up. And I've noticed that people, like, I keep getting notifications of people liking my posts from last week today, because I'm still engaging on those posts and they're still popping up on people's feeds. So that's one little algorithm trick. Also, after you make a post, be available for at least 15 minutes after you post it, because the quicker you engage with people that comment or like your posts, the more feeds are going to pop up on. That's really important. Obviously, if you can't do it, it's better to do something than nothing at all. So still put the post out. Sorry. They're getting really feisty right now. They've had a lot of exercise today. I don't know what their deal is. They know that I'm busy. But does anybody have any questions so far? I know I'm kind of bouncing from thing to thing. Jamie.
I wanted to add, like, name dropping, like the products and stuff. Like, think of being mysterious like this. Like, when you first start dating someone and you're like, I ain't going to tell him all about me. I'm going to make him come back for more. Okay? Yep. Think of it like that. Like, Tell me you don't like a guy that's mysterious. Like, I love my husband to death. He wasn't mysterious at all, but I feel like, you know, when you're 16, how mysterious can you actually be? But the thing that I want people to think about is when you're like dating someone and you're getting to know them, it's the mysterious guys, the bad boy look. Like, I've got this freaking rockin' ass right now, and you wouldn't even know what I got it from. They'll be like, oh, yeah, what do you got this butt from? I'm like, it's a masterpiece. I'm working on it every day. And then they're going to continue to, like, sit there and ask you questions. Like, you know what I mean? So think of it like that. Being mysterious, but also when you're engaging on comments, when somebody says, what is it? And then, like, Ashley, I noticed hers today when she's like, I'll message you. And this is something that I am learning to get used to. And Ashley's the one that even said when she makes a post, she tries to make it to where she has like 10 or 20 minutes to have time to respond to people's posts, like right after she posts it. And so when when people are like, what is it? And she's like, I'll message you. Okay. Say I'll message you to each person. That way the people don't think that you're forgetting about them, even if you are messaging them from behind. I don't know why from around, because then if somebody says, what is it? And then another person says, what is it? But you didn't respond to the first person. Like, chances are the third person's not even going to ask what it's from, because you're just ignoring them from their point of view. So make sure that you're commenting off of every single person that way. All right. And be mysterious to your boyfriend. Act like everyone on there is your boyfriend, but only like appropriately, not like you're not for realsies.
Right. Okay. And then this is really kind of the last thing I have to share. So if you guys, you know, have things you want to talk about or something more that you want to ask me or Jamie, like, soon will be the time. But one thing that I really make sure to do on Instagram, I go in hashtags that are like, I explore in hashtags that are like things that relate to me, and I comment in like a shit ton. Sometimes I even follow the people, but I want to comment things that aren't generic. Like, I know we've all had this happen on your Instagram where someone's like, DM me, check out my page. Like, don't do that shit. It's so annoying and it's super salesy. But just go in there. Like, if you think they have a cute dog, just say, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. What kind of dog is this? Ask them a question so they respond to you. Build a relationship with them in their comments. And then maybe follow them back after you guys have, you know, sent a few things back and forth. You know, another thing, like, you know, maybe they're posting some place that they like to eat, you know, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Where's that from? Like, ask questions on their feeds on other people's stuff, not just your own. And I do that on Facebook as well. When I see people in my feeds, I ask questions on their posts and I start conversations in their threads. Sometimes I'll see someone else has made a comment and I will comment in their thread and have a conversation with them. And like, don't get into stupid like debates and stuff on Facebook that are super political and controversial. You don't want to piss anyone off, but positive things. That's also one thing. Like, I'm all about being real and sharing your opinions, but to a point. Like, if you are like a super huge Trump follower, don't only post Trump stuff on Facebook. Like, it's fine to say like, I support my president and be like super awesome about it, but don't post an article about Trump every single day, because there's a lot of people that don't like Trump. Same thing if you're a super huge liberal and you hate Trump. Don't post that you hate Trump every day, because some people freaking love Trump. You know what I mean? To a point, you have to have a little bit of a filter. But also stand your ground. If someone tells you not to take bathroom selfies, tell them fuck you. In a nice way, like I did. But I really do take selfies on the toilet, and I post them in our group all the time, so I'm really not ashamed. So just be you. Be authentically you. That's the number one thing that I can say on Facebook. Your posts don't have to be super formal. I'm having a hard time, like right now, coming up with big, long posts and content, because I feel like I share a lot on my stories, and I don't want to duplicate everything on Facebook. So I'm really working on that. There's things that, you know, we all need to work on. But yeah. Do any of you guys have any questions or comments? Or Jamie, do you have anything to add?
Something. All right, sister. You think you're being a bad dog mom? I've got 2 freaking kids that are supposed to be in bed, and I'm about to throw them out the window. This is the hard part with John working nights. So Something that I want to add, Instagram. Instagram is my jam, okay? Pictures. They need to have good lighting. They need to be aesthetically pleasing. Do you need to be a photographer? Absolutely not. Trust me, if you go back when I first started and you saw my pictures compared to where I am now, you will learn as you go. But just a little food for thought, they need to at least have good lighting, or, you know, because people, like, it needs to have what past the, it used to be the 5-second scroll. Now it's like the 3-second scroll. And I know I've talked about this before, but when somebody comes to my page on Instagram, look at, is anything going to catch their eye? Okay, because that's how fast people are scrolling these days. They're just kind of scrolling and then they'll stop at something that catches their eye. So think about that. Think about what you stop and you catch your eye. Like, maybe it's food, maybe it's French fries, maybe it's a dog. Whatever it is. For me, I don't actually know. I think it's mostly French fries. Yeah. But I'm just kidding. But so that is something that I really wanted to make sure that everyone knows, because pictures are very important. That is our storefront. Social media is our storefront. Pictures are our storefront. And so you want to make sure that your storefront looks good, because if I'm going to go to a 7-Eleven that looks freaking great and I'm like, oh my gosh, look at it, it's got new Slurpee flavors because it's got like those sticker decal. I hate Slurpees. I don't even know why I'm saying that, but you know what I mean? Or if I'm going to go to a 7-Eleven that's like, it's like maybe a 7-Eleven, but the lights are out and it seems really sketch and it's like dark and you're like, I ain't going in there. It looks super sketchy. Like, think of it like that. What would you go into? Who would you talk to and how? Another thing is, it's kind of like talking to a person in your posts. When you're, instead of saying, I want everyone to know, blah, blah, blah. Like, some of them are going to be like that. But, like, you're talking to one person in your post. Like, so for me, today, I don't know if any of you guys saw my post today, but I had a really hard day today. Like, it was really hard. I mean, shit hit the fan. But it happens to us all, you know, especially if you're married, shit's going to hit the fan no matter what. But the thing that I really wanted to do is like, okay, if you're having a bad day, it's okay. Do something about it. But I was talking to a person, like when I was writing it, okay? It doesn't have to be super vague all the time. It could be super specific. And another thing that I wanted to talk about, the Instagram stories. People really love getting to know you. Like, I get so many, like, when just for an example, we were at a big event, okay? It was full of other Beachbody coaches, but I didn't know all these Beachbody coaches. And I found, since I spoke at this event at one point, which was super scary, a lot of them were inspired to follow me, but I can't keep up on all of them because, you know, that's hard. But they all watch my stories, and we were all working out with Chris, and one girl came up to me, and because I was like dying, you guys, and I took a break, and she's like, oh my gosh, every single time you took a break, I just really wanted you to bust out in dancing, because she knows me. I'm like, dude, I am dancing all the time. Even if I look like a straight fool, like, I don't even need any alcohol in me. I'm dancing. Like, I'm up on the stage. I'm up on the picnic table. I'm up on, unfortunately, sometimes the pole. I just have no shame in my game because I just love to dance. I mean, I keep it PG, obviously, and you'll see on my Facebook that I dance, but I do it on my Instagram stories, and it's because they are getting to know me. And when she said that to me, I was like, oh my gosh, you get me, girl. But she would never know that if I wasn't like caring about who I am. And nobody wants to join somebody that they're intimidated by. So like, if you're perfectly perfect and then you're perfectly at showcasing that you're perfect, like, that's going to be really intimidating, and people feel like they can't really measure up to that standard, and so then they're like kind of too frightened. Whereas like, I will be talking on Insta stories and like, I misspell things all the time. I even posted my video today that said put instead of out, and it's like, if you know me, I suck at spelling and I suck at grammar, and I don't give a hoot who's going to correct me. No one's gonna, and I don't care. but you want people to get to know your flaws, because I've got a ton of them. I don't know about you, but none of us are perfect. And if we try to portray that we're perfect, and you can do that for a short amount of time, and then when life hits, then you just completely stop because you don't want them to see your dirty laundry. Ashley posted today that she's living out of laundry, and I'm like, oh gosh, she is so my person. I asked her if she'd marry me today. She said yes, because she's literally the same person as me. And like so many people live out of their laundry baskets, you guys, and like so many people have piles of dishes. My kitchen looked like a hot mess one day, and I posted a picture of it in like a comment on one of my posts, and people were like, oh my gosh, that's me too. And it's like, you guys, please don't be perfect, because people don't want perfect. People want real. Like, we aren't all going to be perfect, and we're not going to be able to follow things to a T. And if you do, you're definitely not my tribe, because I just don't know how to keep up to that. I just can't. Like, I think I'm wearing socks that I probably have worn maybe 3 times in a row because I couldn't find any socks, and I was just trying to really hurry to get my workout on. I mean, let's be honest. Like, and I'm not the only person, and they're not even matching socks. And I actually think maybe this is my kid's sock. I don't even know. But what? Nobody wants perfect all the time. So, like, share that. And, like, nobody just wants to scroll through your feed and be like, Beachbody, workout, lunge, energize. Like, let people in on your lives. Like, it sounds super scary, but like, if you're having a really gnarly day, and I wasn't feeling inspirational at all. I was like, I ain't posting nothing inspirational because I got nothing today. And I just posted a real picture of me sitting on the curb, because I had a serious moment this morning. Like, I literally screamed on the top of my lungs. I think all my neighbors heard me. And I still have a kid home, so it was in front of him. I mean, I'm not perfect. So it's like, but people want to feel like they don't always have to be perfect, okay? And I feel like that's so huge, especially in this kind of business, because everyone posts their highlight reel. On the post that I made today, I had somebody comment, I don't know if it was Instagram or Facebook, it said, I love how real and raw you are. And like, that is the best compliment. My goal in the world is that if you meet me on the side of the street, I don't care if I'm like searching for something in a ditch. I just want people to look at me and be like, you're just the same as you are on social media and you are in person. I've had people like meet me in the Tillamook, I can never say it, the ice cream place, Tillamook Factory, whatever. It's super popular here. It's like 2 hours away from my house, and it's like super popular. Tillamook ice cream? It's made here. And I was like going really enjoying this ice cream cone. And this girl like came up to me mid-lip. Hey, are you in this Victor's Fit? I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I'm a real person. I eat ice cream too, and I get results. So it's like, share about that. Like, just be you. Like how you would talk to a person. When Ashley told me when she does their Snapchats, like, me and Ashley straight snap each other while we're taking dumps on the toilet. I know that's super weird. And but she tells me all the time. She's like, whenever I snap, I'm acting like I'm talking to you. I'm like, that is the best compliment ever, because if I'm able to make you feel comfortable enough to be you, literally, like, while you're even taking a dump, like, I'm doing my job. Because in society, like, even my son, I was watching the Ellen show, and yesterday this guy was on, and I was like, man, he is so handsome. And Kaden said, when I grow up, Mom, I want to be handsome just like him. And I'm like, oh, no. You are so handsome just the way you are. Like, even young kids are wanting to be someone else. So we have to teach them that we can be ourselves and do it freaking well, and it is totally okay. Because it starts at a young age now, because technology is available now to kids that are like 1, and they know how to work it better than I do half the time. So it's like, we have to teach them that. So remember that. Your bestest friends, who would you ask? If you see, like, if you go out with me, you will see that I am exactly the same person as I am out, that I am on social media. And I want that to be your guys' goal too. I'm not asking for you guys to, let your nipples fall out or something crazy like that. Like, I don't need none of that kind of business, but like, just be who you are, you know, and own it and be proud of it. And if you're a little rough around the edges, like, hello, I came from the straight ghetto. Like, when you think of trailer trash, that was me, you know, and like, I own it, you know, like, I'm not like that anymore, but that was my life. And I can relate to people that live that way, that have like Christmas lights on all year long. Actually, my Christmas lights are still on my house right now. So it's like, it's okay. Like, people want to know who you are, flaws and all, because you're more relatable and people will ask you more questions. There, I went on a rant. My passion rash has come through. Actually, does anyone else have any more questions or anything that they'd like me or Ashley to go over on? There's no super
even be like not related to what we talked about. Ashley.
Yeah.
So this was part of the vital behaviors. I have a question. So inviting people every day. I'm so new. I don't know how to run a group. I don't know how to do any of that successfully, or I'm kind of been bad because I'm working 3 days a week. And so those days I don't have any time to post anything. When I'm on breaks, I'm pumping in my pump room. So I don't get service and stuff. So my question is, how do I start? How do I invite people when I'm so new?
Okay, so girlfriend, I got you, because I run groups all the time. But if you notice, it's like like, you can pull in whoever you want on your team to help you. So like, when you start inviting, like, if you don't feel ready to run your own group, or maybe you're like, oh, I'm gonna only have like 2 people, and that makes me feel like, you know, that's not enough, which it totally is. You could totally make it work, but you can always add them into our groups. You know, like, any group that I do, you guys, everyone is able to add any of their people. And if you want to be involved, let me know, because trust me, running a group all by myself is sometimes a little challenging. And that's why it's super awesome to have multiple coaches in there, because sometimes if I'm not able to be on 100%, Ashley can swoop in and she can answer a question for me, and vice versa. So you never have to feel like you're just thrown to the wolves and having to do everything on your own. I promise you. Which, speaking of wolves, I'm pretty sure today's Wolf Day, Wednesday, and I have not seen nothing about it. So I'm calling you out on it, Ashley. And so if you like are inviting people, my next group is hopefully starting the 19th, but it's going to depend on shipping delays. So it may be pushed out another week. So you can start talking to them about that. And doing that. So like, you're just inviting people that way. Now, anybody that's liking your stuff. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you. I know that you started a separate Instagram account, which I love, but you're going to have a harder time getting engagement on it because it's so new. So like, if you feel comfortable, like, but your Facebook, you're posting the same things on there. So that's super awesome. So just make sure that, you know, you kind of balance it out, so that as you're building your Instagram account, you're still having other people, your warm market, family, friends, those kinds of people can invite, which can sometimes be nerve-wracking, because sometimes family and friends are the worst, right? Like, the most judgmental human beings of their lives. And so you can just tell them theirs and do it, because and I wrote this in huge words, and I'm going to put it up, because when you're making posts, Ashley, this is what you said to me, and this like really spoke to me today. Just show up just for you. Okay, so anything that seems scary that you're posting or inviting on whatever post, you're not doing it for them. You're doing this for you, and you are inviting them to join you because it's changing your life and you want to share that with them. So remember that. And like Ashley said, like, anybody that likes my page, or likes a comment or like likes one of my posts, I will be like, hey, thank you so much for the support. I hope that my post gives you some sort of inspiration or just brings you some sort of joy into your life, whatever and however that will be. I just really super appreciate you showing the love on my page. And that's all I say. I'm not saying join a group and let's get fit and it looks like you might need to lose some weight. I'm not doing anything like that, you guys. Like, you're just saying, thank you so much for, like, because it does mean a lot. Like, every follower and everything that people take time and comment on your post, like, doesn't that make you feel so good? It's like, oh my gosh, somebody saw me today and they were inspired, or oh my gosh, they liked my post. Like, I wonder what they were thinking when they liked it. Like, they must have really needed to hear that, you know? So, like, and then when I do that, people are like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe that you messaged me. Thank you so much. And then sometimes it ends right there.
I want to add something. Melanie Mitro, number one in this business. I responded to something on her story, and she responded to me within like 2 hours, and I screenshotted it, and I was like, oh my God, I'm famous.
Yeah.
And I treat myself that way. I know that sounds so silly, but like, I value myself, and I know that I'm going to be that successful someday. Like, it's not a question in my mind. I'm going to be successful in this business. I'm going to be up there with Ashley, Melanie Mitro, Danielle Natoni, all of them. Yeah, and Jamie Nelson. She's going to be up there with me, and so are you guys. Like, it's not a question in my mind. And I will never treat my business any other way. Like, I already act like I'm successful, and I do what the successful people do. And Melanie Mitro is responding to every damn person. And I can't even imagine how many messages that's going to be. I have no idea. But she has so many followers, I cannot even imagine, because I have a hard time keeping up with what I get already. And, you know, I don't have that many followers yet. So
it's the same for me. Like, when people message me, it's really weird too, because Insta stories, they're bringing in like the people that don't even comment, like nothing. They're like little ghosts. You don't even know they're there, but they're watching you. But Insta stories, if I'm like, oh my gosh, my sister made like these seriously so good chicken nuggets in the air fryer, and then I had like 4, like, you know how it has the message request because I don't follow them or whatever. So I go there and they're like, what's the recipe and stuff. Like, people are watching, you guys. So like, when you have content like recipes or how you make your shake, or even if every day you're just posting a picture of you and your shake, and you're not saying Shakeology and like kissing your Shakeology cup.
And don't do what they tell you in marketing class. Don't have this facing every single time. Cover it up.
Because every day people are going to be like when I'm sitting here doing my shots of, for anybody that follows me on Instagram knows that I don't put this in water. I take a scoop and I shot it just like that. And people are like, that is so disgusting. What is that? And I'm like, it's my pre-workout. It's my Mama Go juice. It's my unicorn powder. It's my legal crack. Whatever you want to call it, girl, you need to try it. I promise you, it would change your life. And people are like, okay, like, I'm down. Like, that sounds freaking magical. If you look on my website and you go to my fave things, like, I was cracking myself up when I was writing out about it. Like, I only wish that I had a video, and I'm like, magical crack, unicorn powder. Like, this stuff is my jam. And I thought I was like the most clever person. And then when I did my giveaway and people were like, what? And I was like, what's 2 of your favorite things on my website? Somebody was like, I really love your fave things. And I'm like, yes, that was my favorite part of my whole website. You know, like, people want to like do it. Or when you have your Shakeology and you're drinking it every day and you're like superfoods, or like 9 servings of fruits and veggies in one, like, you're just kind of breadcrumbing it. And then even if it's like the millionth time that they've seen it on your stories, they're going to be like, okay, what is this stuff that you speak of? You know, so it's like, you don't have to be like, oh my gosh, I got this Beachbody Performance Energized. It's lemon flavored, improved intense exercise performance. And then I drink my Shakeology and it's got this, this, and this. And then I've got 80-day obsession. And then I got, you know what I mean? Like, where you just superly name drop everything. And then it takes all the mystery out. And you're like, gosh, you're so salesy and you're like super boring. Because now I can ask this is a question. You know? So I hope that's helpful.
I forgot one thing. Oh, look at Piper. Look how cute she is right now. Oh.
Hey, Mom.
Okay, I have homework for you guys.
Yay, perfect timing too.
So a lot of you, well, I shouldn't say a lot of you because only Jamie really knows. I'm obsessed with Shalene Johnson. She's the creator of PIO, and she has awesome podcasts, like a lifestyle one and a business one. But her son is up and coming, and he's super awesome, and I love his podcast. So I am going to post in our group a podcast that has him interviewing Shalene. The episode's called How to Stand Out in Social Media. I want you guys to take notes and comment, like take a picture of them and comment them in there once you've read it. The podcast is only like 36 minutes long. I don't expect you guys to do it tonight, but get it done by the end of the day tomorrow.
Listen to it while you're driving. Listen to it while you're doing your dishes. Listen to it while you're doing your laundry and being super successful. Listen to it while you're brushing your teeth or getting your pajamas on. Like, you guys have time to listen to stuff. I promise you. So don't sit there and let it be an excuse. Like, I was just so busy and I couldn't listen to it. Like, I guarantee you, you're sitting there like scrolling your Facebook for at least 30 minutes and not even realizing it by the time you're doing it. So I appreciate you, Ashley. Thank you so much for sharing this. You guys, her business is superly picked up over the last couple months. And that's even with like her having success before that. But she, you know, is an example of getting in your own way. And like, I've given her tough love, and you're very, like, you've got to still be patient with people. You're never going to force people into anything, but I'm just super proud of her. And I think that's why it's so important for you guys to hear from someone else too, that's also had their ups and downs in the business. And just because, you know, like there's different rankings, or maybe I'm so obsessed right now with Jenny and like her husband walking by and showing her love and petting her head and bringing the cat. Our tribe. Good job, Ashley. Okay.
He's having a pool night right now with a bunch of our friends. So there's people at her house.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. Well, thank you guys all for joining. Thank you, Ashley. If you guys have any questions, pop them up in the group. And next week, there's going to be a new topic. I mean, we're going to work together and figure this out. We're going to be freaking going ham this year on some serious information. So be sure to do the homework. I promise it's going to be super helpful. And I will talk to all of you guys later. Thank you.